Dave Pasch with us. Before I get you out of here, off season for the Arizona Cardinals. What do you make out of it so far?
I know a lot of people are concerned based on not having a big splash signing, but I think, I've talked to several people about this. They were 7-0, they were 10-2. Their priorities that were currently on the roster they needed to take care of, and they did that. You look at the re-signings; those are players that were priorities. Colt McCoy is a big priority as a backup quarterback and a mentor to Kyler. Zach Ertz, James Conner. And then, okay, you still have another wave coming of free agents. You're going to have, obviously, the draft. And then, as you get closer to camp, there'll be casualties. So they're not done looking externally, but I also think they felt, you know what, we can line up 22 guys. And based on what happened the second half of last year, we still feel pretty good about our roster. So I wasn't really that surprised. They already blew things up. I mean, they already cleaned house. That was 3-4 years ago. They moved on from a coaching staff after 1 year. They moved on from a quarterback after 1 year. And the team has gotten better each year over the last 3 years. So there's no reason to panic. There's no reason to overspend or try to keep, Chandler Jones, for example, the money you had to pay. Now, it's a position you have to fill, and they have not filled that yet.
Right,
and that,
right.
Maybe easier said than done. But, how much, as you look at the impact of winning that Chandler Jones had, okay, great numbers, but did he impact winning enough where, okay, we got to make sure we spend all this money here that might hurt us elsewhere? And I think those are all things that were discussed. And eventually they came to the decision that no, it didn't impact winning enough where we can't find other ways to generate a pass rush or to win games defensively with either what we have or what we can do through the draft or free agency at that position or on the defensive line.
Yeah, and the team photo changes every year. So, the Chase Edmonds and Christian Kirk, I totally got both those, and I'm happy for both of them. Now, that's just business in the National Football League. I think because Kyler and his agent, which is a lot of stuff in April, and we'll see what it looks like in August, fans have been so fixated on that it's just kind of okay, well, that's going on right now, and these guys are leaving, and it's kind of a trickle-down effect, if that makes sense, with the fan base.
It does. I think, look, Kyler needed to play better the second half of the season and did not play well in the playoffs. So, if DeAndre Hopkins doesn't get hurt and Kyler Murray plays better, I think, ultimately when you look at, you evaluate how a season went, it starts and stops with the quarterback. And Kyler played great for a while and then didn't play great down the stretch. And but there's still time here too. And that's the thing. I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, what's going to happen? And there's articles, oh, is Kyler going to be traded? It's only April. I mean, a lot of times these extensions and these decisions get made in the middle of the summer. I mean, we're still really early on. And a lot of this is, posturing by his part and, the agent trying to get a deal done or trying to get things done through the media. I mean, this is not new. So I'm not overreacting. I think a lot of this is going to be solved this summer.
Before I get you out of here, the podcast. So when we talked last September, I may have seen you at a game. It's like, this is cool. And you're like, we'll see. It's maybe a football thing. You're doing this now. It's part of your thing, it looks like, right? Or not?
Yeah. I mean, we're I think 28 episodes now we've done.
Good.
It's fun. It's different. It's unique. I think it's unique. I mean, we aren't doing just Cardinals. We've had on probably 5 or 6 basketball guests. We've had on Frank Caliendo. We had James Roday, the actor, on. I mean, we've had, it's not just Cardinals. It's not just NFL. We do try to tie football in there. We had Mikal Bridges on after the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Mikal is a big Rams fan. And obviously he and Cam Johnson, that was the lemonade stand. And they went to the Super Bowl together. So you learn some things about people through that. I'm enjoying the conversations. The podcast thing is really, really hard. I mean, there's just so many of them, out there. So how do you make it different? Some of it just takes time and building an audience. And, hopefully we're doing that. I mean, we're not doing it every week. In season, we'll do it every week. But, I'm enjoying the the interviewing of the guests, and hopefully people are as well.
Yeah, it's great stuff. I mean, I've been at this for 10 years, and yeah, finding the audience, and you don't get too high off numbers, you don't get too low off numbers.
Right.
It's like, what the heck happened? Good stuff. Safe travels throughout the postseason day. Appreciate the time.
You
Thanks.
got it, Brad.